Welcome everybody to the weekly Evergreen Open Planning meeting. So we are going to do a quick status over Evergreen. So I had a lot of things this week to work. So from my side, so it didn't work on Evergreen per se. A few reviews here and there. So the status right now is there's a very cool PR from Dominique Bartholdi about providing, even improving the AWS flavor and providing now a VPC out of the box instead of using the default one. So that's a nice one that we need to review rather sooner than later, but I've been busy on some other things. So that's a very good one. Thanks again, Dominique. And then I'm going to hand over the mic to Adrien here, who's working on deploying a new flavor for Evergreen to actually be able to kind of test JDK 11 using the Evergreen system. So, Adrien, can you update us on the status here?
Yeah, so I did create the flavor for Java 11. There's a PR open on the project. For that, currently I'm struggling to have something to build the flavor integrated in the build process of the project. However, it's used to work on my machine, which is not something we want to keep that way. We want to improve it. But it's something that I could be able to demo soonish.
Okay, so because I believe we initially thought we would be leveraging or kind of inheriting the Docker Cloud flavor, but it's not the case right now. Can you explain kind of the status right now?
Yeah, so at first I tried. So there's for everyone there's a base image on Evergreen that all flavor are inheriting, but that base image is based on Alpine on Node 10, but Alpine distribution, and there's no running option to have Java 11 on Alpine distribution.
Right. It's well aligned with what we are doing in Platform Special Interest Group for Java 11 support. We also have reviewed options, and our decision was that for Java 11 now we go forward without Alpine. So I believe that Adrian is proposing pretty much the same for Evergreen.
Yeah, so that the issue kind of is that, so this is something that's perfectly acceptable for Java 11 specific purpose, specific flavor. But then it triggers the question if we really want to stay on Evergreen base, which is then actually using here not 10 Alpine, which is, as so some people may not be aware of that, but basically JDK 11 on Alpine is a very complicated story, basically. So that makes us probably wonder if really using Node 10 or Alpine based base image for Evergreen flavors is really the right long-term choice, because we know it's already a pain, and given the cadence acceleration for JDK releases, this situation is unlikely to be just a single shot issue. So probably we should consider, and in the midterm, short term, even change the base image for the existing flavors that are Docker Cloud and AWS flavors, basically. So yeah, that's it.
Which image you consider as a target baseline?
I'm not sure. What do you mean?
So what would you consider as a parent image as a replacement?
Oh, well, that's kind of undefined right now, but I guess probably would make sense for us to consider what's going to be chosen as a somewhat default baseline for the platform SIG group. SIG group is a pleonasm, but yeah, and I guess because this is an issue that already arose in the platform SIG, so platform special interest group for people watching is the group that has been formed to discuss platform specific things and be given the JDK11 story about upgrading. Oleg is the best person to talk about that. Basically, this is the Alpine issue already arrived there. So I guess we will probably use what's being decided there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Oleg?
Yeah, we don't have explicit story for that right now, but I believe we will have to discuss it. Maybe
Absolutely.
not immediately, but starting from February 2019, we may start getting into issues with Alpine.
Exactly.
There was a long discussion about that yesterday on the platform SIG meeting, because we want Jenkins to be maintained, and we just not sure what is the future of the existing baselines for Jenkins packaging as well. So once we get some information, we will just integrate all the stories together, I believe.
Yeah, and the Jenkins project can obviously not commit to being a maintainer of some specific Alpine-based flavor for JK11, basically. So
unless there is a contributor for that.
Yeah, right. But it should be just not it should be like a group or whatever committing in the long term, because it's not like something very easy to change, and it would impact pretty heavily the community, I think. So yeah, that's anyway a pretty deep and concerning issue. I think we will have to tackle in a very thinking about the long term, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thanks. Adrien, anything else? Or do you want to cover something else?
No, really. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Oleg, anything else? Or you have a few things in progress?
Nothing specific. Maybe the stories which may be interesting to Evergreen team, that we are planning some Java 11 support changes in Jenkins test tools, and it includes essentials test steps in pipeline library.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be working in order to integrate Java 11 support there, and if Evergreen team is interested, we can also collaborate with regards to existing plugin test automation and continuous delivery for that.
Yeah. There's a whole range of things that we don't do yet, but we plan to do on Evergreen side. Basically, doing a lot more, for instance, functional tests, which we don't do right now, like making sure Jenkins actually works. Right now, we check basically that Jenkins starts, and we do a very, very, very small smoke test. So that's already something. I mean, we do check that Jenkins does start because it also tests the health checking process we have. The automated health check that we have, so that's a thing. But for instance, we don't check that starting automatically a pipeline would actually yield a successful build, which would be probably the minimum to do. So yeah, if we can at some point integrate essentials test and then related to that in for instance the Java 11 flavors, something that are specific to Java 11. Yeah, definitely overall growing the coverage, I would say, for Evergreen pipeline, because right now we, as some people know, we test already quite a few things. If you look at the current pipeline rendering phase, I would say, so that it's a bit clearer for people. So right now, what we do basically is that we test, we build the images, and we actually test, for instance, that there's for AWS, for instance, we only do some cloud, some smoke tests, basically, because there's nothing specific to AWS there. So that's pretty awkward and poor. Here it's probably the fullest test, and that one is pretty full also, but specific to rollback testing. But yeah, that's it. There's no functional testing, basically. So yeah, anything improving that would be great.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Anything else?
Not from me. So yeah, probably I'll have more detailed updates in a few weeks. But let's see.
And I think, Adrien, you will be able to demo next time or so the Java 11 flavor, right? Because it's almost done.
Yeah, exactly. I'm almost there. I was hoping to do it today, but just before the meeting, I tried to start it again, and everything was not working anymore. So
That's fine. So I get that. So the intent also for people possibly watching, it's we're probably going to use that also as a way to provide the Java 11 working version of Jenkins for people to contributors, basically to provide feedback about Java 11, Jenkins working on Java 11. So that would be nice. So yeah, we hope that will be useful for even for both for developers and for users, basically contributors more.
I will make sure to label the issues properly, because I see that there are some tickets assigned to me, but it's something from previous life, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. That's
so
here. But that's one nice thing, by the way. I forgot, but there the Sharon beer, I think. So that's I think Oleg as a core maintainer, you saw that one, and that's a first time contributor because I labeled I think as newbie friendly basically, and someone is already filing has filed a PR that's promising. So that's very nice because there's some external contributor who is actually filing and fixing bugs basically. That's nice. Thanks again. So thanks everyone. I guess we are done, and let's just finish early if all is done. So see you next time, and hopefully, oops, see you next week. Bye bye.
thanks for organizing that.
bye.
You're
Bye.
welcome.